I'm young, I always like to imitate people. Like talk like them, sing like them, to find my own self, you feel me? But that's not real, you know? It's just pretending. I spoke the truth about my life and everything came full circle. When I found music, I found the real me.
This is just a really great, stylish piece that's based around how social dynamics and cultural backgrounds end up influencing artistic impulses and identities. And I thought that the main figure, Lil Berete, was just not just interesting in terms of his personal story, but in terms of how he reflected universal concepts in terms of how growing up a certain way ends up influencing certain artists and particular musicians, how they end up communicating with the culture and society writ large. And I felt like most of this piece was just designed to humanize these characters and to make you realize that the stories that they're telling, the music that they're making, has a deeper impact and purpose than just, you know, braggadocio or just trying to center themselves, but rather to give voice to a place they feel like is not represented well and is generally not respected or seen as a place in which something positive or influential can come from. So I felt like there's a lot of sociological implications as well as artistic implications that this piece really melded well together in a way that was very easy to watch and very sleek and well designed while also being very raw.
When it opened, it looked like a dark Marvel film. Almost, it gave me a feeling of like I was walking through Gotham City, finding out about some dark superhero. It was really cool. The opening, the choices, really cool editing style, really cool choice of the direction of photography. I hadn't heard of this artist yet, but I found myself being just intrigued after watching this film. So go check out all his music because it was the first time I had seen a docu style film, but it also played like a music video. Like if you really look at every shot, it's like this is a moment in a music video. It almost was probably cuts of music videos, but even moments where he's speaking, just the choice of the lighting and the background and the shadow, it's like, oh, this is a great visual for some music to be under. It was just so cool to see. Really well done. I felt like I was watching like a love letter to this Regent Park area, and then seeing how his griot culture and everything and his music evolved after learning about himself and his culture, and really kind of mixing the two elements of his African culture and his culture growing up in Toronto and in this hard neighborhood. Uh, and finding this new sound of Afro trap. I mean, dope. It's dope. Like I'm super intrigued about this guy now. And if this is the people that he has around him representing his image, he's doing a good job.
The history of Regent Park, and it is such an interesting place in terms of being one of the first supportive housing, public housing places in North America, and seeing where it came from immigrants from all over the world to now being affordable, or some call it a poverty slum, but it is really such a vibrant, connected, strong community that we are seeing now being slowly broken apart and picked away at for gentrification and for condos and for revitalization, all words that are trying to take away what this rapper considers vital to the community. It felt very special to be brought through Regent Park by an ambassador who grew up there, who can authentically show and explain the nuances of the community, and who has thrived not only despite of Regent Park, but because of it and because of the vibrancy of the community. And this piece, I think, will be a really important time capsule as time goes on. And I hope it brings awareness and understanding to the resiliency that is present, and hopefully that some of that can be maintained. But I thought he was an excellent guide through the community, and it was just a really uplifting thing to see him living his truth and the success that he's had and the people that he brings with him.
It's quite an interesting story, but it deals with how he becomes a rapper and what he tries to do by singing his songs. And that was interesting. Now, Regent Park has had its share of troubles, but I'm not, as someone who has a certain amount of boosterism, civic boosterism, Regent Park is not a bad place. And it is, yes, a spot of arrival for immigrants, but it does have opportunities. And Lil Berete seems like a young man who knows how to spot opportunities and rise to the occasion. It is an inspirational story as to his singing career. Shed the light as well on, I think, an underreported aspect of life here in Toronto and life in Canada, and that is the connections and cross-fertilizations of the diaspora populations between Toronto, or for that matter, Winnipeg or Montreal or Vancouver, and their source country. And I think that is the source of much of the creativity we're now seeing in Canada.
It has a rhythm and a really nice pace to it that gives you time to absorb what you're watching, but you're also very excited for what's going to come next. I think it's a really important film for Americans to watch because we often overlook Canada. And I don't think I would have thought that there's a lot of housing projects in Toronto, and that the American dream seems like something we think is unique to the US. But this is a perfect example of what's up there in Canada and how we need to see more of it.
Man, this had such an incredible opening. I loved the cinematography of like the cityscape and everything. And then also getting a chance to listen to his story and what his mom did for him and how it put him on the right path to where he is today was just so incredibly heartwarming and powerful. And I know that it was a struggle. I know that the neighborhood where they were all growing up in, it is a struggle for them. And I think that the filmmakers did a great job. I loved all of the what the director of photography did, and getting to listen to him and seeing the concert where everybody was singing along in his hometown, and they all knew the words to the song, and they're all there and they're singing it with him. What a feeling that is, and what a great feeling that is to know that you've made that kind of an impact.
To showcase his community, where he came from, and truly what the community was, what that place originally started as, what it turned into, the culture around that community itself, of being the first project in North America, of everything that kind of encompassed that, of, you know, what it was like living there, what it was, and then being able to tell his full story and how he was shaped to be who he was and the artist that he is, and telling all of that before you even got to his music, before you even got to any of the rest of it, explaining where he was coming from, his background and all of it, before you even address the music, makes you understand the music in such a different way and why it's so important to him and what drives him and what drives the music itself. And I think that's so important. And this was such a fantastic way to truly show everything that got him to that place.
It really piqued my curiosity about a subject matter that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know anything really about the music scene in Toronto. or the neighborhood of Regent Park. And it was really great to hear it from the perspective of the artist and the youth within the community. The storytelling is absolutely amazing. It's a really inspiring documentary.
This rapper, he has such charisma and such character, and he's such a message to spread, and it's really entertaining just to see how he presents himself, and it's just seems like a really great guy. And as well, like the editing choices in this were very interesting. Like there's so many like colorful and interesting, complex like editing choices that I really think really improved